Hey, what's going on, Headliner Nation? Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Headliners. Kyle Richardson here with you, and we're going to chat about Tyreek Hill for a moment here because obviously with some news coming out recently regarding Tyreek Hill and his situation with his son, we have to continue to monitor this basically all off-season for fantasy football perspective. I do want to put just a quick disclaimer on this video. The only thing we're going to be discussing in this video is fantasy football. Everything else at this point, I don't want to say is irrelevant because that's definitely not the word to use, but it's not for me to make any judgments on in this video. So the only thing that I want to talk about in this video is just Tyreek Hill's fantasy value. And if you're a fantasy football owner, what do we think you should be doing with Tyreek Hill? So there's still a lot of things that still need to be said, that still need to be done regarding his situation. Really, what we know at this point is that the DA is not pursuing any type of criminal charges at this point because there's not nearly enough evidence to actually try and convict anyone. There are still other legal things in the process, though. There's still some things going through family court. He could still have some sort of legal type ramifications coming his way, but we just don't know what any of that is. And the one thing that we've seen from the NFL is you don't necessarily have to be in trouble with the law to be suspended. I mean, we've seen Josh Gordon and Zeke Elliott. We've seen them be suspended for things. I mean, a lot of the guys who are suspended for like marijuana or different type of drugs aren't necessarily in any trouble with the law, but there's still a personal conduct policy at play here. So personally, at this point, based on the information that we currently have, I don't think Tyreek Hill is going to miss all of 2019 at this point. Do I think he misses something, though? Yes. I would be surprised, very surprised, if the NFL didn't hand down some type of suspension. Now, this is not me saying that Tyreek Hill is guilty of anything. This is me saying that the NFL will probably do something at this point as a punishment for Tyreek Hill based on everything that has happened. And, you know, the NFL is hit or miss with their suspension, so we really don't know what they will or won't do. I just think some sort of a suspension will come down, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's anywhere from 4 to 6 games. If I had to put my money on it, I would probably say 4 games. So, from a fantasy football perspective, that's 4 weeks we're going to be missing Tyreek Hill, right? We'll carry him the rest of the way. A lot of fantasy owners will still end up owning Tyreek Hill this year. They'll still end up drafting him. It depends on what type of format you're in, though. So, like in redraft leagues, we still have quite a bit of time until redraft leagues are really going to open up and start getting going. So, there's some more information that we could find out between now and then. But it's basically, kind of the same thing we saw with Elliott a couple of years back. Is he going to miss games? Is he not going to miss games? He's going to appeal a suspension. How many? So in a couple of years ago, we were looking at Ezekiel Elliott, a guy that was falling into the second round because we knew he was going to miss some time, but how much? So the same thing happened with Tyreek Hill. Unless something affirmative comes from the NFL saying we're not going to suspend him, as long as something from the Chiefs doesn't come out, this is basically going to be a waiting game at this point. So in redraft leagues, it's going to be difficult to invest a first or second round pick in Tyreek Hill when you don't fully know his status. If you were to make it to the third round, that might be a little bit different depending on who's around you. You can invest in Tyreek Hill and say, hey, hopefully it works out. But again, still a lot of time for redraft leagues. For dynasty leagues, dynasty leagues is one thing that you definitely want to keep an eye on with Tyreek Hill because even if for some reason nothing ends up happening this year and he's not suspended, whatever it may be, the Chiefs could choose to walk away from Tyreek Hill very soon. And as you see in the graphic below, Tyreek Hill is an unrestricted free agent next year. The Chiefs at that point could say, hey, no, we're done with it. Hill, we're going to, let you walk because another team is going to offer you way more money than we're comfortable with. And if that happens, what type of situation does he go to? Does he go with another quarterback as good as Patrick Mahomes? Does he go to another offense as good as what Andy Reid has in place in Kansas City? A lot of different things could happen. So if you own Tyreek Hill, you're holding steady. Unless you get a nice solid offer with another stud in return, you're probably not going to move Tyreek Hill. Hold on to him. If you're looking to purchase Tyreek Hill, don't overpay for him. If you can get him at a decent price, maybe there's a couple of rookies that you can give up along with maybe a pick or two next year, something like that. You might be able to get a Tyreek Hill owner to basically say, no, I'm done with it. I'm not messing with it anymore. Here you go. If you can do that, that's fine. but just remember that this could become a bigger situation next offseason. So I'm looking at Tyreek Hill only for 2019 and not beyond, because there's a lot up in the air at this point after this season, until the NFL comes out and says anything, until the Chiefs come out and say anything, until he inks a new deal. We're really going to be left in limbo on what his future value will be. Now, one format that is going on right now that a lot of people have already started are best ball leagues. So with best ball leagues, Tyreek Hill is an absolute must own in best ball leagues because of his upside. You know, with those best ball leagues, you always want players with the most upside on any given week because of the format. So with Tyreek Hill, he's a wide receiver 1 or 2 in that type of a format. He's a guy that's a definite first round pick. So in best ball leagues, what are you doing there? That's also a difficult decision to make, especially if you're drafting this early. If you're drafting Tyreek Hill in best ball and you want to spend like a second round, third round pick on him, go ahead, but make sure you get Mecole Hardman as well. So if something does happen to Hill or he misses some times, you have that guy that's kind of right behind him in terms of that deep target, those big plays, that upside type of potential. So again, this is strictly a fantasy football video at this point. We're just breaking down what his value is in 2019 and a little bit beyond. You know, it's tough to say how things are going to play out. It's tough to say, you know, what's going to happen, what's not going to happen. You know, I'm not here to pass judgment. I'm not here to do anything else like that. I have my own opinions. I know everyone else out there has their own opinions as well. But it's fantasy football. So we're going to talk fantasy football. We're going to limit it to that. We get paid to talk fantasy football. So that's what we're going to do here, is talk about that. If you have questions, make sure you hit up in the comments below. If you own Tyreek Hill and you want some feedback on what you should or shouldn't do, let us know. If you're thinking about going after him, let us know. If you have a draft coming up soon and you don't know what to do with it, let us know. Make sure you comment below. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done that. Again, a super quick video here just to touch base on Tyreek Hill. We're getting so many questions about him that we figured it would be best, hey, let's just put out some content like always, and we'll try to answer the questions that way. But again, if you have more questions, always feel free to hit us up. Thanks so much for tuning into this video. Really appreciate it, everybody. Have a good one, and we'll catch you on the next one.